Now we're transitioning over to our top 5 segment, where this week, keeping it in theme with everything, it is top 5 favorite films from 2025 that were not box office hits.
Correct.
Oh my goodness. There were a few out there that I definitely feel like, they were good. They were critically acclaimed. They made their money back, but they weren't like, oh my God, this was amazing.
Right. Some of them made their money back, some didn't. But yeah, it's just...
There's a couple more, too, that I just haven't seen yet that I really want to go see. Like, of course, Naked Gun, but of course, like, the couple of different ones that have been out there, like Eddington, a couple more A24 movies that are going to come out. Super excited about those.
Yeah.
But number 5 for me goes to The Gorge. You want to know why? Because it wasn't even at the box office.
It wasn't.
Man, oh man. Which this should have been an event-style film. Imagine seeing that gorge on an IMAX screen.
Yeah,
that would have been crazy. So I think they really missed an opportunity over at Apple TV Plus because this is an Apple film. So I do really think that they had the opportunity to make some money. Of course, their box office success this year was F1, but I do think that they could have stepped outside of that comfort zone and tried The Gorge, but they were very timid, obviously, with pulling Wolves out of the theatrical release schedule, with how bad Killers of the Flower Moon did at the box office last year. So Apple is scared. Even Napoleon last year with Joaquin Phoenix didn't do great at the box office.
Right.
So they're scared to put their films in the Cineplexes because they don't think it'll make any money. But I do think this one could have made money because it's in that same vein as an Alien Romulus. That did do pretty well at the box office. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Number 5 for me, The Gorge.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's funny because, like you said, they pulled Wolves, that which was supposed to be theatrically released, and now they've lost the sequel to that because they're not going to release it theatrically. Maybe they're going to rethink that after F1.
Maybe.
But the creator said, we'll see you later. Part of the deal was I'm supposed to get a theatrical release, and he basically bailed on it. But it's interesting because that's Clooney and Pitt, and it did not do well. On Apple, it didn't do well. It wasn't even watched that much on the streamer. And they had to be panicking about F1 when they saw that people weren't even watching it on the streamer. They're like, do people not care about Brad Pitt anymore? Oh, shit. But this is just, it goes back to the risk of Hollywood. This industry is all about risk. There is no reward without risk, and you just don't know. Yeah, Wolves probably would have sucked, but look at F1. Clearly, people are not over Brad Pitt. So, The Gorge, I agree with you. I think that one you should have taken the shot at. You should have. I think it would have probably done well. I'm right there with you. Honorable mentions real quick for my number 5, playing into that. Axel F, Axel Foley, The Return, and the recent Happy Gilmore 2. Both were made the decision not to put in theaters. Both massive hits. The nostalgia factor, that we want to see them again. It's a nice way to wrap up the story. Now we have a definitive ending to those characters. Would have been huge at the box office. Netflix chose not to do it. Oops. And there you go. So it's just one of those things. My number 5, and all of mine actually, were box office releases, but for some reason just did not click, but are doing massively well on the streamers, which would have said maybe you should have kept them in the theaters a little bit longer. I don't know. My number 5, Novocaine, which I think is great. This is just a really fun movie with a really fun cast. Amber Midthunder, who was in Prey, that the Predator movie Prey or whatever, had that huge success. I hadn't really seen her before that, but she's solid. I think she's a great actress. And of course, Jack Quaid, who's like, he's the quiet it guy right now, right? He's like if the Glenn Powell passes, Jack Quaid's there kind of a guy right now. And of course, Jacob from all the Spider-Man movies. This is a really fun movie. It's basically, if you don't know the premise, guys, it's this guy and his girl of his dreams that he's really wanting a shot with, trying to be with, and all this. She basically gets kidnapped, and for whatever reason, he can't feel pain. Like, he's oblivious to kidnap. So he decides that he should be a superhero and basically rescue her. And it starts this whole kind of a thing. It's a really fun action flick that's sometimes over the top goofy, sometimes very serious. There's clearly a message behind it, But it's a fun movie. Novocaine, number 5. I think if you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's on the streamers now. It's on Prime. It's a really fun movie. I wish would have done better. It was a victim, though, if I'm not mistaken. I went back and looked at. It was released amongst biggies and just was overshadowed. It didn't get seen. It was like, well, we're not going to go see this. So there it is. My number 5, Novocaine. Really fun. Really fun.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I still want to see that one. That's on my
It's a
list.
good one. You'll like it.
Yeah. Number 4 for me was One of Them Days. Of course, this was the Kiki Palmer SZA led one. And I thought this one was so fun. It was literally a current day Friday, I feel like. And I thought it would have brought a decent amount of audiences back to the box office. But, it was kind of not really marketed well. And it kind of just showed up out of nowhere. It actually did pretty okay at the box office, for that particular style of film
Yeah,
and for the
yeah.
budget that it had. It did pretty decent, but it wasn't obviously a success as all of these other blockbusters that we've been talking about. But I was able to catch it on Netflix, which of course is not the proper way to watch films, but again, it kind of just showed up out of nowhere and then it was gone out of the theaters to make room for all of
Exactly.
these big tent poles. And I think Captain America just came out around that time period as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a really good film that I feel like did not get the credit it deserved. So number 4 for me, One of Them Days.
Yeah, great pick. I agree with you. Like, I think the trend on both of our lists is a lot of these movies were just released at a time where they had no shot because they were going to
Yeah.
be on one screen, two screens, and play only a couple of times a day, and So unfortunately, that's definitely what happened to my number 4. It was definitely a victim of that. But was profitable. It wasn't a massive hit, but it was profitable. And it's a really great film and a really good follow-up sequel. You don't hear me say that a lot, right? Sequels don't normally come out of the gates and are better than the original. This one was. I'm talking about Den of Thieves Pantera. Of course, revisiting with Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson. You remember the first one? It's like O'Shea and them were like a gang of thieves, and Gerard Butler was a questionable cop on a team that was trying to take them down. Not necessarily a good guy, but doing his thing. Really fun movie. Really great movie. So I was surprised it got a sequel because not a lot of people had even heard of the first one, but it did well. I guess it had life on the streamers. People found it, and so they were like, okay, let's do a sequel. The sequel is infinitely better than the first, and I liked the first. I thought the first one was really entertaining and really good. This one revisits now. Our questionable cop is no longer a cop for reasons obvious. O'Shea's character Donnie was able to escape in the first one. I don't want to give too much away because you really kind of need to watch the first one to see the second one. But basically, it's going down, and our old boy cop is tired of being a cop, tired of being a good guy. He's seeing how the bad guys are profiting and getting rich, and he wants to get in on that action. And so he shows up, and Donnie's like, thinks he's in trouble, and then he finds out, no, dude, I want to join your group. I want to be in on this diamond heist with you. He's like, what? So this one takes place over on foreign soil, not in America, and it's a really fun film. It's high action, it's high energy, it's got some nice little twists here or there to it. If you're just into that run and gun style action flick that's got some twists and turns to it, you definitely want to check this one out. Den of Thieves Pantera. Worth the watch, but watch the first one first.
Yeah, for sure, man. Completely agree. Completely agree. Number 3 for me goes to Drop. This is a universal thriller, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's got Brandon Skelnar, who is popping up everywhere. He's really making a name for himself. He was in It Ends With Us, of course. He's been doing a lot of television, or popping up in a lot of television right now. With 1923, he
Yep.
was
Yep.
also in The Offer, which I had no idea about until I just went to IMDb Pro. It looks like he recently, I feel like, changed management because like he was in New Girl in 2017, and then he was also in Vice, that one with
Yep.
fucking Christian Bale. Of course, those didn't do well, and New Girl was like forever ago. So then he was in Midway. But if you look him up, you'll know exactly who he is. And then the main actress there, she's been in White Lotus and
Oh yeah.
other things
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, the budget was only $11 million, and overall, the world gross they made about 28. So of course, not the biggest box office splash, but still considered a success.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting too because it was produced by Universal, which of course has the deal with not only James Wan but Jason Blum, and Jason Blum was attached as a producer, but it looks like the main producer on the film was Michael Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like it was more of his film and not more of that type of horror genre. But it was a fun movie. It wasn't perfect, no, but it was fun trying to figure it out, who done it type of thing. Definitely worth the watch, I feel like. So check it out on Peacock. I think it's on.
Yeah, it's not a cinematic masterpiece by any means,
No.
but it's fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
movie. It'll keep you entertained.
Yeah.
And it does have a couple of little twists or whatever. I mean, I did kind of figure it out early, but
Yeah,
you know, but it's fun, and it's great acting. It's really fun acting. It's really I enjoyed it. Hell, it's a good one if you're kicked back on the couch and looking for something to
Yeah.
watch. It's a good way to kill a
Exactly.
couple hours. My number three, I'm actually surprised this did not do well at the box office and that it kind of faded away as fast as it did. This has everything you would think would be a huge hit at the box office. Big stars. It's a cool action movie. It's a suspense thriller. It's got some edge of the seat moments, and you're thinking, yeah, that's everything you want at a movie theater. And for whatever reason, just did not catch. It did open against some bigger things, but I still feel like it should have done better, even opening against bigger things. I think it should have done better. I'm talking about The Amateur. This is the one with Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne and Rachel Brosnahan. And it's basically this CIA operative who is not out in the field. He is not a field agent. He's a computer geek. He's a data analyst, and but he's being helped by somebody. And he comes across these documents that show that the U.S. is behind some shady shit, killing some people they shouldn't be killing in action. And then all of a sudden, his wife, who's over in Europe, gets killed. Right after he supposedly finds out about this stuff that he should have never found out about. And so this little data analyst goes to them and says, I'm going to expose all this bullshit if you don't let me go kill the people that killed my wife. And they're like, you're a data. And they don't want him to. Well, he decides to do it anyway. Causes all kinds of trouble. This is a really interesting premise and a really good movie. And Rami Malek, because if you guys are familiar with Rami, from Queen and all these, Mr. Robot, he's a quirky, weird guy anyway. Just how he moves and talks and just is. And bringing that to this character on an elevated level just made sense. And then, of course, you're like, wait, how did he land Rachel Brosnahan? You're thinking that the whole time, too. And if you landed somebody like Rachel Brosnahan, I'd be pissed, too. I'd want to go kill some motherfuckers that killed her, too. So it just... Lawrence Fishburne he was kind of hidden fave in the movie, though. He trains him, and the idea was that the CIA was going to have their main guy train him so that he would spook him and realize he couldn't do it and doesn't want to do it. Backfired. Didn't happen like that. And of course, you know why I like this movie so much, though? Because there's a little bit of a cameo. It's not very long. It's maybe 4 minutes total screen time, 5 minutes tops total screen time. Not a lot of action from him by any means. In fact, no action from him whatsoever. All dialogue. But my man Johnny B, John Bernthal, I didn't even know he was in it. Just made a boop, there he is. Hey, John Bernthal. And again, steals the scenes that he's in. It's 2 scenes, 5 minutes total max, but he steals it. And I'm all in. You guys know, any movie Johnny Bernthal's in, I'm in on. So my number 3, The Amateur. Rare fact, it's a remake. If you guys did not know, it's actually a remake from a movie not even really that old, like 15 years ago maybe or whatever. Both are on Hulu right now. So if you're a cinephile, a real film guy, and you want to see the differences, how accurate it was, how much did they change, watch them back to back. I did, and I was like, I watched the new one. I had seen the old one, but couldn't remember it. So I went back and watched the old. It was really interesting to see the story changes and the little bit of dynamic about what they flipped to make it more current, what they kept the same. Very interesting stuff. So check both out on Hulu, The Amateur.
Very nice, man. Very nice. Number two for me goes to 28 years later. Now,
Mm,
this was the third iteration of this franchise, of course, taking big pockets of time between each film's release date. And the night before, I watched the middle one. I watched the 28 weeks later, and
yes.
then I watched the 28 years later. Still have yet to see 28 days later, which is the main one, of course, Danny Boyle and Cillian Murphy did together, which was, I guess, so iconic, and I still need to see. But now I'm
Yes.
all in to the franchise. It's really fun, it's really cool, and I do feel like they are setting it up for different films, more films to come out as well. Aaron Taylor Johnson did absolutely amazing, and the small amount that he was in, even though he was billed as the main character.
Yeah.
Jodie Coomer, though, was in the majority of it, and he did freaking awesome. Absolutely, or she did absolutely awesome. Loved her because she was playing a mother who I think had brain cancer, and she basically would switch personalities and have hallucinogen thoughts and all of these different things. So it was very interesting to see how she approached that dynamic in a zombified world,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And then Ralph Phineas, is that his name? Voldemort
Yeah.
and Conclave and all the good things. He was in this too, and I think he did absolutely amazing. But like I said, I'm in love with this franchise now. Still need to watch the first one and then continue to watch the rest of them. But number two for me, 28 years later.
There you go. I love it. Yeah, it's a great franchise. I've been watching them since the beginning, and they're just outstanding. They're
It's fun.
fun.
It's fun.
You know, it's a different take on the whole zombie thing. It's a whole different
Yeah.
take on but it's really really fun and it works. So,
Yeah.
and again, the release strategy, they're long enough in between to where it makes you want to see them. You're still
Exactly.
invested. You're still interested. Um, my number two. My number two. Um, this is a great film. This is this film caught me completely off guard. It is completely not what I expected it to be. It is not what they marketed it as. It is not what it's billed as. It is completely a full 360 away from how it was billed and marketed. Death of a Unicorn. It's currently on HBO Max. Now, this bad boy's got Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega and Will Poulter. So that should tell you right there. Taya Leone. It's a phenomenal cast who all knock it out of the park, by the way. They are. Will Poulter is just like hilarious in this thing, but not hilarious. He's not supposed to be hilarious, but it is. I, the premise is it's these really rich folks who like have this wildlife sanctuary, and the old guy's dying, and he's basically in Paul Rudd's character is like coming in to shore things up and then basically take over the company to ensure that the money stays in the family the way it's supposed to, blah, 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 blah. We find out quickly that this family isn't as nice as they claim to be. But I'm not going to spoil it because you have to watch this thing. But basically, the premise is the death of a unicorn is when Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega's characters are on the way up to this refuge, they accidentally strike and kill a unicorn on the road. And then, of course, it's like, is that a unicorn? What the fuck are we looking at right here? Is it really a what? And then it just goes off the tracks, batshit crazy from there. Like, whatever you thought it might potentially be from that moment on, put it all aside because it's anything different from everything you thought it was going to be. It's just, it's unique. It's original. It takes in real unicorn folklore and tales with an original spin on the story. Like I said, the acting is phenomenal. It's just it's one of those movies that you really, I use the term train wreck because it's like watching a train wreck that you can't turn away from. You like, once you find out the movie's not what you thought it was, most people be like, oh, I'm just going to click this. It's not but you can't. You literally are like, no, I got to see what happens next. I got to keep watching this. And wow, do yourselves a favor. Watch Death of a Unicorn. But do not include the kids. Do not include the kids. This Jenna Ortega, I know she has young fans from Wednesday, and she got a nice young following as well as older following. But and then of course unicorns, My Little Pony unicorns, Rainbow Bright. Woo! No, no, keep the kids away from this. They will never look the same again at unicorns. I promise you, keep the kids away from it. My number 2, Death of a Unicorn, and man, Paul Rudd, bro, I love Paul Rudd. And I'm going to admit it. I'm a fanboy of Jenna Ortega. I'm all in. I love her. I haven't seen a thing yet that she's been in that I hated. I fucking hated that movie with The Weeknd, but I loved her in it. She was phenomenal in it. The movie sucked, but yeah, she's great. I'm just all in on her. So check that one out. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And I want to see your reaction.
I love how she takes risks. She's a young actress that takes risks that doesn't get put into a type box. I think she's the future of Hollywood, to be honest. I thought Millie Bobby Brown was going to be, but she's the future of Netflix. So
Jenna Ortega, Isabella Merced. There's a few that are willing to just take any role that's so drastically different from what you normally see them in. And I think you're right. I think definite.
Completely agree. Well, my number 1 film goes to Warfare. I've talked about this film so much on this podcast. This was such a, I'm going to go to the movie theater because I got to kill some time in between some gigs type of thing. And it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me as a cinematic experience for this year. It was the biggest surprise. I'm telling you, I love doing this sometimes. I didn't even watch the trailer before going into this movie.
Oh.
I've done that a few times with Belfast and a couple of different ones that are Oscar nominated and stuff. And it's honestly some of the funnest movies that I've ever been a part of witnessing. And like I said, if you don't know what Warfare is, it's a mission to Iraq. It's just a group of guys trying to survive and trying to get out so they can get back home. Things happen, obviously. It's based on a true story.
Yep.
The person or one of the soldiers who were a part of that platoon, or I don't even want to disrespect by saying the wrong term, but a part of that group of guys, a group of soldiers who go and do this mission, actually co-directed it. The real life guy co-directed him, actually going forward and doing it. But it's a great film, phenomenal. If you guys have not seen it, please do yourself a favor and do so. It's an amazing piece of cinematic brilliance, in my opinion. So number 1 for me, Warfare.
Boom. There you go. I love it. And I would agree with your assessment. Fantastic film. And cinematically fantastic. It's so a really beautiful. It's about
so many young actors. Many young actors in that one.
Yeah, and even though it's a touchy subject and it's about war and it's dark, it's beautiful. It's just beautifully done. It's just my number 1. And I'll be honest with you, I was super excited about this one, and it lived up to my expectations. But it's a sequel to a film that I missed completely when it first came out. I didn't even know. I found it way later on a streamer and watched it and freaking loved it, and then found out the sequel was coming. I'm like, hell yeah. My number 1 is The Accountant 2. Again, one of those rare instances where the sequel is actually way better than the original, and the original was really good. It was a unique twist. It's about a guy who suffers from social anxiety and autism. He's on the spectrum, and he's a social, but he obviously uses that to his advantage with numbers and basically starts working with the mob to cover up money and all. It's a really thing, but it's odd. Anyway, that movie and Anna Kendrick and Ben Affleck and J.K. Simmons, just a fantastic film. You have to watch that one first, obviously. But it ends in a way where you could definitely see, this story could continue. But then for years, it was like nothing. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're going to get the sequel. Yay! As I just established with my other film, Johnny Bernthal, it was Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, Ben Affleck, and Cynthia. That was the main crux. But Bernthal plays Ben Affleck's brother in the first one. It's minimal role. You don't see him very much, but you get the context of this guy is real important in Christian's life, in Ben Affleck's character's life. And you want more. Well, The Accountant 2 delivers. It's all about their brotherhood and their dynamic. He's in the whole movie with them throughout, and it's just elevated. The bar scene alone is worth watching this movie. It just Bernthal, to me, he's another one, like you just said, that takes risks. This guy he kills it at you buy him as a tennis coach, right? You buy him as the Punisher. You buy him as a zombie killer. It doesn't matter. Or Ford versus Ferrari as an executive, as a Ford executive. It doesn't matter what he does. And he basically is Bernthal in everything he does because he's got that mannerism, he's got that dialect, he delivers the lines basically the same no matter what, and yet he delivers on the characters, and it's
awesome.
That's what makes him so good. It's like, how can you be exactly the same but totally different? And Bernthal somehow pulls that off and makes you believe it. This movie's really good. It's a solid story. It's a good follow-up about the expansion of and the brothers' relationship and where it fits in and where they're headed. It's just a solid storytelling. I think that's why it worked. It's fun, it's action-filled, but it's also very story-driven, dialogue-driven, has moments between the brothers. It's solid. It's solid storytelling. It's solid filmmaking, which is why I think it works so well, and which is why I was kind of bummed it did not do well at the box office. It was like, I don't know. I think the reason, though, is because, like me, I think a lot of people had never, what do you mean Accountant 2? What's The Accountant? They had never seen the first one, which, watch the first one. You're going to love it, and then catch this one. My number one, The Accountant 2. Fantastic film. So good. So fun.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, we want to know, what is your sleeper film of the year that might not have been a box office success, or like I said, just a sleeper film that not enough people are talking about?
Yeah.
Please be sure to let us know in the YouTube comment section below, and add us on X, Threads, any of the places on social media. We love the fan interaction. That's what it's all about, man.
We do.
That's what it's all about.